Okay, so before listing down the features of Hadoop 2.0, let us look at the limitations of Hadoop 1.0. Okay, so now we'll come to Hadoop 2.0 and we'll look at the features of Hadoop 2.0. Okay, so there are few things which we always saw in Hadoop 2.0, Hadoop 1.0, where uh, which were some of the limitations. Now, the one limitation which I'm sure can people list out those limitations before I start telling you? I'm sure some of you actually understand the limitations. Tell me what are the limitations of Hadoop, and let's see if Hadoop 2.0 can actually handle that or not. Okay, single point of failure. Everyone is talking about that. Good. Not hot standby. Fine. Right. What else? It cannot do OLTP processing. Right. Not more than 4,000 nodes. Right. Sure. So though Hadoop is very, very powerful, but still it had some limitations. Now let me tell you, very few people would have actually reached those limitations also. Very, very few people would have reached those limitations where you say that, okay, Hadoop, now I have work which cannot be handled by Hadoop. Now, some things which obviously cannot be done is like Hadoop is for batch processing. So you don't do any kind of real-time processing in Hadoop, which is something which is given. Okay. But one more important thing was that you have only one name node, okay, in Hadoop. Namespace means that, can someone tell me what is a namespace? Everyone understands what is namespace? Yes. So it is a file system which has the which specifies a metadata of a particular file system. Okay, so you can divide your complete file system into multiple namespaces. You can divide your complete data into multiple namespaces. You can say, okay, this is my marketing namespace, this is my which are logically different. You can specify that there. Okay, in Hadoop 1.0 we just had one single name node. Okay, and obviously with that we had a single namespace. So which means that I had no logical partition of that. I had just a single file system. Now in Hadoop 2.0 there is a concept of federation where you can have multiple name nodes. Okay, and the reason for this is that Hadoop with a single name node, what happens is that you can only scale vertically after a certain limit. Why? Because you have to, what does the name node contain? The name node contains the metadata, right? It has to do the processing fast of that metadata. After you've reached a certain stage in terms of the number of data nodes on your cluster or the cluster size, scaling it further becomes an issue. And this usually reaches the point at around 5,000 odd nodes. Okay. So after you've reached 5,000 odd nodes, Hadoop 2.0 becomes difficult to scale. Okay, just try to understand it, the limitations first. Let's understand the problem solution obviously is there. So the problem is that, and why is this problem coming? Because the RAM capacity of the name node reaches the vertical limit. So after that, if you are handling, the performance issues start coming, and this too comes when you have reached for 5,000 node clusters. Now 5,000 node clusters are not very common. So most of the people who are in this class, when they go on to working in Hadoop, will be working on clusters which will be sometimes 20 node clusters or 100 node clusters. There's hardly anyone who will probably be working on more than, say, a 2,000 node cluster. Okay, so very few people will reach that limit. Yahoo only has, I mean, the bigger clusters than these. Okay, most of the people have clusters which can be done with Hadoop 1.0. Till now also Hadoop 2.0 is not in production mode. It is mostly in a POC kind of stage where people are trying to migrate. Okay, but it is a good idea to understand these concepts. Okay, so in Hadoop 2, so you understand why we need multiple name nodes, right? How does it help that problem is something I'll tell you. But why does a single name node reach a limit is understood by everyone. Second thing is high availability. You understand that Hadoop name node is available highly, but if it goes down, then there's a problem, right? So that's where your standby name node comes into play. Okay, so a standby name node comes into play just to take care of that failure scenario, right? Which you've discussed in great detail throughout the classes. Okay. Then Yarn is a new processing control mechanism. Now Yarn is capable of not only running a MapReduce job, and please listen to this very carefully. Yarn is not only capable of running your MapReduce job, but a host of other applications. You can do graphical analysis using Yarn. You can do online processing also using Yarn. Okay, so all these limitations which were coming because of the MapReduce paradigm will be taken care by Yarn. So Yarn has the capability. Yarn runs the things as applications. So a lot of these things will be taken care once Yarn comes in. With Yarn, you can do a lot of other things. Now, why do we need this? Because see, now more and more companies are storing their data in HDFS. Okay, for doing say something other than a batch processing, you had to move this data out of that HDFS and put it somewhere else and run. Say for example, if I want to do if I want to run a graphical analysis, graph kind of analysis over that, okay, that is not possible to do in Yarn. So what I'll do is I'll move that data into a different data store and then do graph analysis over that data. Okay, so but Yarn allows you to do that as well. It supports APIs for doing that as well. Okay, so the reason for introducing Yarn is that since more and more organizations, more and more companies are moving their data into HDFS, it makes all the more sense that you have a way to run applications other than the MapReduce type of applications on top of Yarn, on top of HDFS. Okay, so that's one big change which is coming in. That probably is the biggest game changer here, that with Yarn you can do a lot of other things. Right now you will hardly find any examples because it is still academic interest where people are doing it. Maybe in a few months time you'll start getting it, and as and when we also start getting applications on top of it, we'll also start sharing that with you. Okay, so right now very few people have done much on this thing. Now Yarn also introduces a job, instead of a job tracker and a task tracker, we've introduced the concept of resource manager, node manager, and app master. I'll explain that what it does. It also helps in better controlling the jobs, your jobs. So I'll explain that in a while. Okay. Then there are other important features like Windows support. You have backward compatibility. Okay. You have integration testing with the rest of the projects. You also can take HDFS snapshots. These are minor features, but the main features are federation, high availability, and Yarn.